have had pretty severe asthma since I was born, and had a pretty sickly childhood, with lots of adrenaline shots and doctors rushing to the house, and I would have to be home in bed, missing school for a month at a time frequently, and I was not allowed to exercise. And that was the way that it was treated then. And there was really no help that helped me at all. So when I became an adult, I started thinking, that's sort of crazy not to be able to exercise. So I started exercising more. And I got so I could ride my bike maybe a block without wheezing. And then I got it so I could do 2 blocks. And then I got so I could ride up this really steep hill in Boulder where I live. Without wheezing, so that was very helpful. But I still continued to get asthma attacks and had no relief, except the only thing that helped was prednisone. And I didn't want to be on that because I have osteoporosis, and prednisone is terrible for your bones. So about 2 years ago, a friend of mine told me that she had heard about Buteyko and the method. And so I was sort of desperate, and so I found a woman, an acupuncturist, who lived about 45 minutes away from me, and she was teaching it. And so I would go see her, and she would teach me a few breathing things. But that really didn't do it for me because I didn't have sort of a program. I didn't know how to do it on my own very much, and so I just sort of let that go. And then this past February in 2013, I got really bad asthma again because I usually get asthma when I get a cold, and then it just goes right into asthma. And so I was feeling really terrible with the asthma and having a hard time. So I went online and I looked at Buteyko again, and I found out that you had a breathing center right here in Boulder, and I was pretty amazed about that. And so I called and talked to a woman, and she said, well, I could have a free Skype interview with Thomas, and I did. And I was pretty skeptical at that point because I just didn't see how that was going to cure my asthma or help me with it at all. But I was so desperate that I decided I would do it. And I talked with him for an hour, and then I was worried about paying for it, but I decided I've just got to do it. So I did it. And I met with Thomas, maybe, 12 times, 14 times for 2 hours or whatever. And he had me start doing the breath holds and 45 minutes 3 times a day. And I just decided, I don't know if this is going to help or not, but I'm so desperate I will do it no matter what. So I did it regularly, and my asthma started getting worse, and I was really feeling like I've got to have my prednisone, but I didn't want to do it. And Thomas said, well, just hang in there for a little while longer, and so I did. And I didn't go to the doctor, and amazingly, for the first time, I'm 74 years old, and for the first time in 74 years, I got over asthma with no medication and no inhalers, nothing except the Buteyko breathing exercises. So that was pretty remarkable. I was just amazed. And the one thing happened just a month ago, or within this past month. My husband and I went to bicycling in the San Juan Islands off of Washington coast, and it was very rainy and cold, and that is a surefire prescription for me to get asthma. Cold and rainy, wet. And we were outside bicycling and getting very wet and bicycling, and I did not get asthma, and I was just amazed because I just kept doing the breath holds and and anymore I don't have to work at it that much. I just think I breathe through my nose all the time, and I wore the tape on my mouth at night to make sure I wasn't breathing through my mouth at night, and I'm not. And now I'm training to be a teacher of it because I'm also a psychotherapist by profession, and I think this is an incredible method, and I want to be able to teach it to other people. I feel like I really am in control of my breathing now, where I never felt like I was before. Like for a while there, I thought I should do real deep yoga breaths, and I was working on breathing really heavily, and I realized now that was not good for me at all. But now I'm just aware of my breath a lot. Like in yoga today, I was noticing, okay, I'm breathing like a little mouse, and I was just very aware of breathing correctly, not trying to have sort of an air hunger. And so I think I'm pretty well in control of it now. It is really difficult having a child with asthma. I think my parents suffered a lot. I slept in the same bedroom with them because we had a small house, and I would keep them awake at night, and my mother would try and rock me and hold me, and then finally she'd just start yelling at me to stop faking because she needed her sleep. So it was really difficult, and that impacted me poorly too, because then I'd try and cough into my pillow so I get them up, and it was very difficult. And I think that if I had a child with asthma right now, I would immediately start working with the Buteyko method with that child, not forcing the child, but really trying to love the child into this different way of breathing, because I would think that would be the best thing I could do for that child. And I would hope that other parents could do that too for their children.